here pretty early at the Pasadena Convention Center. So many people out here. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. So according to Pasadena city officials, there are about 1,200 people who are staying here at this shelter right now. That includes some of the elderly folks who were evacuated from senior care facilities, and you could just see how many people are still out here. There are several rooms. This is just one of the rooms, but several people walking through. Again, they've got food, warm
Sorry about
meals,
that. We had a little
drinks,
crash, but we're
snacks,
back.
and
We're
at
back,
4
and
o'clock, city
waiting
officials will
on
be releasing with
John.
the latest
He
on
might
this
be
as
joining
coming
us
to you.
from the road, so
All right,
let's
Shelby,
see.
thank you for that. So unfortunately, when this kind of thing happens, there's always people out there that want to take advantage of the situation.
Yeah.
And David Lazarus is here with us now to talk more about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously something that we see after all catastrophes and all emergencies. The fraudsters and the scammers step up. Just minutes ago, I was speaking with California Attorney General Rob Bonta about this. And as for scams, here's what he had to say.
We see them, unfortunately, at times like this when, one, people are hurting and vulnerable in need of support.
Looks
and
like their
services.
video is a little out of whack.
Sometimes we see links being sent to cell phones via text where support or services are being offered if they just give their credit card number or their social security number, their important private information. Be wary of those.
Now, the best rule of thumb when it comes to this sort of thing is, yes, it's a good thing to be generous. It's a good thing to help other people. But if you're going to donate money, do so to an established, recognizable charity, the Red Cross, for example, or some other organization that might help animals, for example. Try to stick with organizations that you know, and that way you're not going to get taken advantage of. And speaking of that, oftentimes after a catastrophe of this magnitude, price gouging becomes an element for consumers, and that's something that we also need to be very, very vigilant about. I asked the Attorney General about that as well. Here's what he said.
We often see price gouging during these difficult times, and there are anti-price gouging laws in California, Penal Code 396, which prevents increasing the price of certain goods and services over 10% from the price they were before the declaration of emergency. If you see any of those prices increased over 10% from before the declaration of emergency in Ventura County or in LA County, please let us know.
And that's good advice, but at the same time, the California law also has a couple of important exceptions. For example, when it comes to food or gas.
All right, let's go back to the other feed and see what's going on there. Skip.
You also add in our dry vegetation out there. We're talking humidity values from single digits into the teens, and that's
Sorry
what
about that.
allows for, these are the ingredients that allows for all of this dangerous weather. We are continuing to see that rapid growth and spread, out in Eaton, where I've seen Bob at, just those embers just really just floating by and starting those new fires in some of those homes. And we're going to continue to probably see that until these winds actually do die down. And not just the fire, we are talking the likelihood of more downed trees as well as those power lines. And I myself have seen that as well, moving through the San Fernando Valley and coming down the 405 here to our station. Plenty of those intersections, the lights are out. And so we got to do our best to play safe out there if we are not in those immediate fire zones. But again, here's a look at our red flag warning. It includes all of this highlighted pink area. It is in effect for the rest of today.
Look at all that smoke. It's just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Not just going to be subject to portions of the Pacific Palisade region or into portions of
come on in and watch the show.
Eden, Altadena
Don't be afraid.
We're talking all of this highlighted pink area here. Get a look at it because the ingredients are.
You could watch it live on Vox or KTLA, or you could watch it with us. Uh-oh, I hear somebody. Let's go get them.
But also the windy weather out there. And with the winds in place, this is the alert that we're looking at. Also extended through portions of today as well, where we are looking at our winds stretching across portions of the Inland Empire, our high desert, our low desert, the Los Angeles Basin, our mountains, as well as portions of Orange County. And this is going to be
Hello.
picking up, not just sustained, but also with their gusts. We do show some of
Hello.
the area getting a little bit of that lull there, but still a lot of the region still moving in those double digits. This is our sustained winds. Here's a look at our gusts. Even though this number's not showing up here through that 5 corridor, we do still show them gusting with that contour active there, moving anywhere from about still show our map fully contoured here, stretching into this evening as well, where we do show things slightly going down, but then bumping right back up, moving into portions of tomorrow morning, which is the likelihood as to why those
we lost him there for a second. Let's try him back here in a second.
Just as we've been talking about on the dry side, single digits, and this is across a lot of the Los Angeles basin, where these numbers we usually see in our desert communities. So we got a lot to get through, not just for your Wednesday, but pushing into when these weather alerts are going to be expiring. I'll have more details on what's happening here in the weather department, but for now, back to you guys.
All right, Star, thanks so much. Haley Winslow's there, and you have some neighbors who are actually helping the firefighters there?
Yeah, so we're, Marla, on our way to Henry Ford's house that's on fire down the street, but on the way, we see obviously this house on fire, and then we saw something really incredible. See this hose, this garden hose? This is connected to the fire truck, and this homeowner is filling up the fire truck tank with their hose so that they can fight these
Hello?
fires. They are out of water.
Yeah, I don't know why
Woodbury.
it's not letting me
So
get a
none of the
video
fire
out.
hydrants have any water
You
in
can
them,
hear me though?
which is why these homeowners, you see them spraying,
You can hear me?
you know, the flames themselves with the garden hose. So this homeowner is letting this truck here at 20 fill up the tank and let them go on their way so that they can fight not only this fire but the fires on the houses on fire all down this road. You're talking to me in the control room. I can't hear you. If you can say that again, but we're
Hello?
gonna walk back here to the firefighters are a little bit shy, but this guy is the one who owns the.
I know
home and
I'm
is
in here.
Kindly donating his water.
You are in here.
Just disabled my camera.
It's on now.
Sir, sorry to bother you. We're with Fox 11, and we were just talking about how you were kind enough to let them fill up their.
Can you hear me?
uh,
Are you able to hear me? Can you hear me?
Fire department?
I have no comments. That's fine. We gotta help the community.
Okay, thank you. What is this like for you to go through? You doing okay?
Yeah, we're doing good. Thank God we were able to save our house, and it's very unfortunate for everybody else.
Thank you.
Of course.
Be praying for you. Thank you. Thank you guys
Hello?
for all that you do. We really appreciate it. Thank you. They're obviously stretched very thin. This house next door, Marla, obviously a total loss. And Christmas Tree Lane, which is right next door where we just were live a minute ago. Rand McNally used to live on that road. He was the guy who invented the maps. Tons and tons and tons of famous people. A graphic designer that is very well known.
It said that you.
The three blue lines on the AT&T logo. Sal Bass. Sal Bass.
Hello, hello,
On that
hello.
street too. He also did the logo for the Girl Scouts, for tons of movies.
Hello, hello.
So just a lot
Can you hear me?
people, some people that didn't want me to
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
tell people that they live on that road, but just some really nice houses that are
Can you hear me?
completely full. And Henry Ford's obviously his home from Victoria times. It's down the street here.
Hello?
This is my friend.
With the garden hose.
This is Ryan. He's a freelance photographer who told us about this. Andrew, sorry. Andrew, we're on Fox 11. Do you mind telling me what you were saying about the water?
So there's no water north of Woodbury. Well, for whatever reason, there's no water. So the firefighters over there from wherever they're at, LA County, they are literally using the garden hose to fill up their truck. It's either that or they have to leave, fill up down below Woodbury, and then come back up.
I saw you on the fire truck. What's this like for you? I mean,
I haven't covered much news in 20 years. Actually, I'm a full-time teacher at John Muir High School. I teach media arts, and last night I was up till about 3. It's absolutely scary, and especially this is my own neighborhood. I live like half a mile or a mile down the street.
so as Andrew was telling me too, anytime you see a fire hydrant, you guys, with the blue cap, that means that it's out of water.
So yeah, there's no water if there's a blue cap. Some of the other ones have more pressure. The firefighter was telling me that as you go south, the pressure gets worse. But they're doing the absolute best thing.
I can see you.
I would say the best thing that I saw
Yeah.
from the fires last
Can you hear me now, too?
Make sure you don't have
Yeah,
any,
can you hear me?
debris right next to your house.
Yeah, I
catching
think
on fire.
what
I
it
put
was
out a
was
few of those last night with just people's garden hoses. If you
I
have
opened it
time,
in
stretch out the
Gmail,
garden hose,
the
make it
link,
easy
as
for someone
opposed to
walking
copy
by, and
Safari.
turn it on.
So I think it just wasn't giving it enough, or just wasn't letting me do it. So when I just copied the link and then brought it into Safari, it worked.
Okay, let me grab the
How
link.
am I? Is my talking anywhere close to the lip sync?
I don't have you up yet. I'm trying to see. All right. Give me a clap.
That was a one-handed clap 'cause I'm driving.
It looks. No, you're on and you're live too.
Nice. What up, people?
You should be able to hear yourself. Let me turn that back on.
To fill it up. It's not like they were desperate for water.
Okay.
Are you able to hear
You're
that?
saying that there's not any water north of Woodbury.
That's probably
No,
what
I can only hear
this
you.
particular
Okay.
scenario. They left a little bit in the tank to just finish up if something happens. That's what I want to add. Pasadena has water. I don't think we have any issues.
The
But that's
fire
what-
hydrants.
Yeah, I wonder how I would get
The
you
fire
to
hydrants, they were saying don't have any water.
hear what I'm hearing. That
I'm
would
just
be.
saying this scenario. Yeah, they were waiting. They left a little bit.
Yeah, I
just
think
the fire
there's
kept
that
coming this
still
way
has to
and
be
they
something
couldn't
with the
use
room.
it.
Like there
While
might
they were waiting, they just
somehow
wanted to
set a
close.
third
Okay,
window.
thank you for clarifying.
Yeah.
That actually has
Appreciate
like
it.
our
All right, we'll get clarity on
OBS
the fire
feed.
hydrants too, but I
'Cause your
know
audio
last
is
over
going
there
into
wasn't any
OBS.
water, north of Woodbury, which
Nice.
is what Andrew was saying.
And
too.
your
So
video's
we'll
there,
get clarity
so
on that. We're gonna keep going down the
I
street.
could-
Yeah, I think
and,
you just.
find
I think
Henry
your
Ford's house, and
computer
hopefully
was just
that'll
overclocked or
45
needed a
here in
reset. 'Cause
Pasadena.
it seems like everything is
Haley
typed back
Winslow,
up, right?
to you.
Haley Winslow, thank you. You can see
No.
really how the
For the YouTube
communities
feed?
all over the place are stepping
Yes.
up. So many people.
No, I'm using
want
a
to do
browser
whatever
window
they can
instead
to
of
help people.
a window capture.
We've been watching some of the coverage there from Fox 11.
Oh, okay.
We will
And it's so
continue
much
to
better.
do
It's
so
clean.
this evening.
And then I
We are going to
do
take
the
another 2-minute break. Stay right here with us. More coverage in just moments.
Oh, let me turn that. Did I
Yeah,
do?
you looked good when I was watching you. The whole feed looked really nice. Looked good.
The when you do interactive on the source, it pops out a little screen, and then you can interact on that screen, like it's.
Yes.
So I can stop and start it. I can turn the volume up and down. So that's what I've been doing. And then when I go to the next source, I have to reactivate the interactive. So like right now, I'll go from this source to the other one.
See, and that's the diff. That's what it was. Because I was thinking, like, why would they have that plug-in?
Hey
and
guys,
do
you
this?
know,
I
some
think that plug-in allows
drivers
you
are
to have
ditching their
multiple
car
Yeah,
insurance and they're
exactly.
doing this instead.
Yes.
And
Okay.
now I can hit skip and boom,
As long as I need a
feed
good-
is up.
Nice.
And it's synced. I don't have to worry about audio
the main
or
components
anything like
that you
that.
guys are focused on.
Shelter
And I had two
care,
mics
so
bringing in
in
all the audio,
operations, we
so
have about 1,200
I think we got it
residents
figured out.
at the Pasadena Convention Center
That's
right
cool,
now.
man.
Several of them
From
were
where-
the
oh,
ones that
yeah,
were
I can see me through
evacuated
the
from
steering
the
wheel.
assisted living facility last night. Our
Wish
police
there was a
department
way
did
I
an amazing
could
job, literally
share
loading up
screen.
many
I
of
bet
these
there
residents to
is,
the back of their
actually.
Bearcat,
right
Oh
here.
yeah, this
the
video. I
building
think
was on
that
fire
video
and
ninja is
evacuating them.
a lot more powerful than we know.
So
Here we go.
have our Pasadena
Boom.
public health nurses
There it is.
supporting any of their medical
Now I
needs
can
there at
see
the
the-
shelter.
Whatever screen you're
And
sharing,
in the
which is
meantime,
nothing
you know,
yet,
we
but
keep working
if you
with
can get
that,
that feed
and
in
we
there, then
also
there it is.
we have trees down, we have power lines, so we're doing what we typically
Oh, I
do,
see.
which is tree removal. But priority is
I don't want
the
that.
public safety and keeping these residents safe at the shelter.
Well, we've seen it in a lot of places, especially in the Palisades, where the
Man, the
firefighters
snow
can
won't
really fight
quit.
the fires. It's more about trying to save people's lives.
Try this again.
Has it been the same situation in Pasadena, or have they actually been able to work on trying to put some of these fires out?
We've done a great job putting the fires out. We have
Oh, okay.
8 teams out of
Oh,
state
I got
that
it.
assist us. We
I got it.
requested
Here we go.
50 strike teams, and that's 5 engines per team. So that's hundreds
There we go.
of
Buddy, you gotta
calls
make your,
that we've had
you wanna
coming
make
in
your youth
overnight
debut,
and throughout the
buddy?
day.
What up?
I think because of the
Hi.
first fire yesterday,
Little
when we
guy.
saw that vehicle,
I think you can see my
back up,
OBS now, and you can
people
see
weren't
exactly what's
evacuating
coming
early on.
through.
Last night
Yep.
when we
So
put
now
out
you
the
can comment on
evacuation
it.
orders, people,
We got it.
immediately
Yes, sir.
followed. We saw,
Yes, you're seeing this
residents loading up their
live,
cars,
people.
getting out,
We're figuring
and
this
following
live
the
and on the
rest of
spot
the
because
order.
that's what us
It was so
techies do.
moving and powerful
We can't
to
wait
see so
to
many
figure it
people
out
come together
beforehand. We
when
got to
that
do it
medical
on
center
the
was
fly.
on fire, and even
Plus,
a
if you
city
never know
bus,
if you
you
did it
guys
right until
utilized
you
a
gotta
bus
run
to
a
be
test
able to
anyway.
put some of
So,
those patients on there.
hope you guys
if
bear
I'm
with
correct.
us. We're
No,
testing
you're
it
absolutely right.
together.
So,
And my buddy let
total
me know
of
earlier that I was like, he was hearing my an echo, and I had two microphone sources on.
Nonstop
So it's doubling.
They're away from their families. Some of them
Got
have
it.
homes in the affected areas, but their priority is
Oh,
the
that.
community. So we've seen so much good.
Let me
kind of
turn this
come out
down.
of
This
such a
you
bad
can't hear that
situation,
though, can you?
And we're still seeing
Correct. I can just
fires
see it. And it's your
in our
entire
area,
OBS. Like I can
homes that
see
are
your
completely destroyed. It's still too early to assess.
I can see all your docks and your
Yeah.
levels and everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's just devastating. The
So I wonder how I get you to hear it.
life-threatening. You know, we bumped up our game.
Maybe click that box where it says use audio from OBS when you're in this.
Oh, I think I got it. Here we go.
Oh.
I got you. Here we go. But are you able to hear me now?
Yep. Oh yeah, I can hear everything now. I can hear the thing and you. Nice.
So I figured out last night that if
The Kinaloa fires. in
you
early
use
90s.
OBS,
go.
if you use chat,
Similar
OBS
area
chat,
here.
and put
A
the
lot of
feed
homes
in the
lost.
chat, and then the
it was
other, and then
wind-driven.
multi-track with the
So that was very
microphones, then you have
reminiscent of the early
separation.
90s. Then we had the windstorms in 2011. Fortunately, no homes.
Yeah, that sounds good,
with
man. I can hear
major
everything now.
destruction or damage.
Joe, what are you doing, buddy?
No lives lost, but
Why are you
$18
throwing
million
this
of damage. So this far exceeds anything that I hope we never see again and have seen in the past.
And Lisa, for those viewers who live in Pasadena, Altadena
Oh yeah,
area,
we
any
live
advice
right
for
now
them? Anything
on
you want to
YouTube,
share?
streaming live on
Please
YouTube.
Stay out of the impacted
We've had
areas.
about-
We're finding looky-loos are going up there.
What's that?
taking
Thing, man,
pictures. Stay
about
away.
this. I've been
We
wanting
need
to talk about this a little
get the
bit.
proper
Like,
resources
this
up there.
people
It's going to
is
be
why you
a
never want
sustained operation
someone like
for
Gavin
several
Newsom to
days.
be
We
president
they need
because
to keep those
all he
roads
cares about is
cleared for
himself
the
and
utilities
he's going to get
be
his
able to get
donors
up there
paid
to
because
be
he
able
owes
to
so many
talk
favors
to these
and he
homeowners.
could care less about the
So,
people.
you know, please stay
Trump
away
tried
from
to
these
stop
areas.
this a long time ago. He told Gavin Newsom, plain and simple, you got to do some the restricted burns. You got to burn this foliage up. You got because you're going to have a terrible fire on your hands if you don't. And he just turned his back on him, was thinking Trump's always the dumb one. But it's funny how the dumb one always seems to beat their ass. So maybe you should start listening to Trump a little bit.
I agree 1,000%. And I don't know if you heard that Biden was in town in Los Angeles. He was there to see his grandson or great grandbaby be born, and he gave Newsom another, couple $1 billion or whatever it was,
Of course, he's trying to empty the wall before he leaves, just to make it a little bit more difficult for Trump. But really, all that's doing to the people, what he doesn't understand is all that's doing is continuing to justify why Trump won, and it's just furthering the gap on why we never need another Democrat president ever again.
If we break away just a moment.
100%.
Devastating look over it.
Oops. Didn't mean to stop that.
This weird scissor replacing gadget.
Wonderful. Scissor replacing gadget. That's all right, people. We can clicky.
Hey there, everyone. I'm Errol Barnett in for Vladimir Duthier as we follow breaking news out of Los Angeles. About 30,000 LA residents are under evacuation orders as firefighters grapple with
30,000. I thought it
just
was a lot more than that, but
wildfires that are not contained. The Palisades fire.
Yeah, a
has
lot of
hit
people
through
aren't
over
going because
2,000
they don't
acres
trust
and has
the
destroyed
government. Like
multiple
they're not. A
homes
lot of
and
people have
businesses.
not
This is near
left yet,
Malibu.
which is terrible. They should leave.
Absolutely. There we go. We'll go back to
Where it is
KTLA.
moving along this densely populated, not to be redundant, part of Santa Monica, highly famous for its tourism, getting closer.
Yeah, a lot of famous people's houses have burnt up today.
Warning, as you can see here. But it's really not
It's
that
just
far off as
ridiculous
far as the
that they had the one of the officials on that handles the
I know yesterday when we
preparedness for the fire department. Like she said that they were ready. They had their reservoir tanks filled up yesterday, and now those reservoir tanks are empty, and they can't get no water.
No water, and because they're so woke, they decided that it was the best idea to give like half of their fire supplies to Ukraine.
Oh yeah, that's right. So, and I'm watching these firefighters. Like there was one I was watching earlier before you jumped on the feed. It was an Aldi that was burning up, and you saw fire trucks driving by it, but they weren't stopping. And you could see around the corner there was a couple of them stopped, but there was no water to help put out the fire. So they had to go 20 to 30 minutes outside of where they were at to get water to come back to fight a fire, which makes absolutely no sense. At that point, I would just find the closest fire to the water and start fighting my way out. Everything else is just stupid. It makes no sense. They're running around like chickens with their heads cut off right now. They're doing the best they can. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but that's because the chief is making sure that her most important thing is taken care of, and that's to get as many women in the fire department as possible. That's the most important thing for the fire department in California right now. How's that working out?
Working out pretty good. Pretty
That has nothing to do with me saying like women shouldn't be in fire.
No, absolutely not.
Do the job, but starting to put these damn boxes to be checked. This is what happens. You get, instead of having a bunch of badass women and badass men who want to be firefighters, now they're taking women just because they gotta have them. And it's just, and this is what happens.
So north of Wilshire, west of 10th, I can zoom in this map. A little temperamental, but
it's a mess.
One part of the evacuation.
It is an absolute mess.
That Canada person, Canada, who tried to buck Trump, like, hey Trump, I got a rebuttal for you. How about we take California? Take it. You can have it.
Right. We'll trade California for Greenland. How about that?
Yeah. Or I mean, we'll take a nice area in Canada. You can have California.
Yeah, we'll take some California. We'll take some Greenland, and you can have the rest.
Because I think it's my birthright to be able to drive to Alaska, so we should take that part of Canada, so we can just drive from Miami to Alaska.
That's a high school
Yep.
on Valley Circle Boulevard in Woodland Hills. Pasadena Convention Center still taking people in Pasadena. And as far as animals go, which I know will not be an
Where you guys headed right now?
we're reading about here in Santa Monica, but large
talking to me?
animals, we're
Yep.
still trying to get clarification on Pierce.
Headed home. I gotta run in the store real quick, so I'm gonna actually put the I'm just gonna stop. I'm not gonna stop, but I'm just gonna take the feed out real quick. But I will be right back.
Even Lou, you know, if you got to leave with your big dog, there are some places that don't take animals. So where do you go? And that's why I just wanted to be clear about evacuation centers. Westwood Recreation Center.
All right, I'll be back.
Small animals
Alrighty.
evacuees. Also, I wanted to note, Airbnb is partnering with 211 to provide resources for people who need to get out.
Sorry about
People whose
that.
homes are burned and they have nowhere to go. Again, that's
So we're looking at a live feed from
211.
KTLA,
It's a
Channel 5
service,
in
a
Los
nonprofit
Angeles.
service working with Airbnb
Wind-driven fires
to
burning
place,
in Southern California.
displaced people
It's been for a
into
couple
somewhere to go
days.
for the evening.
Seriously,
There
for a
are,
couple days.
Of course, requirements. You have to prove
So, you know, we're trying to cover the fires. We're trying to see what's going on out there. We're looking at different feeds and trying to see what's happening. Let's see what's going on the last feed that we were looking at. See if they're back up from their break.
Have you ever seen the magic glasses that can see clearly without glasses?
I think we were looking at Fox News last time. So let's see. Yep. Back to Fox News and seeing what they have to say about
Bob DeCastro,
any new updates from the fires.
in the morning, and is still going live
So
at
it
2:46
is
in the
almost
afternoon.
6
Bob,
o'clock
thank you,
here, so it's
for
going to
the
be almost
tireless
3
work
o'clock
today.
there.
We
So
really
they've got a
appreciate it.
long day
And while
and
you
night
think
ahead of
about
them
the
still.
fact, that we had these massive fires, and we've only had 2 deaths, which is really extraordinary. I mean, obviously, we feel for the 2 people that were killed in the Eaton fire, but the fact that we've had over 1,000 structures burned, the amount that those fires were just out of control and everywhere, that means that the evacuations largely worked. People did take this seriously. They did get out. There's a reason why Bob has not many people there. Is a good news. Haley Winslow, what are we looking at here?
These firefighters are trying to get in the garage where the fire is so they can put it out because it's obviously still a big threat. This is Glendale Fire. Sorry, it's a lot of crap in the air. They've been using an electric saw. Good job, guys. Wow.
Good job,
They've been at it
guys.
for a little while. So this is a very
Woohoo.
famous house. It's not Henry Ford's house. That's a few doors down. But this is the place where everything big is basically filmed. Beyonce. We've got the movie The Jobs. Frank, you're just standing on the cable. Sorry.
Well, guess what? They're not going to be filmed there anymore.
This is Ray and John. They own the home, and obviously you can see their car was burned, but thank God their house was not. We just talked to your neighbor, and he gave us a little bit more information. First, about how well it's built, even during the Northridge fire. Never, no crack.
Yeah, during the earthquake.
The earthquake. I'm sorry. It's been
There's no damage at all. It's an incredible house built in 1928. It's called the Breitenstein Estate. We do a lot of filming here.
Yeah, and this is just absolutely devastating to see our guest house and garages go and the Mercedes go. It's really disappointing.
You said Beyonce.
Got a video here.
And what else? The Jobs movie?
Jobs movie, Synthesizer, the TV series. We've had a lot of filming done here, which we've enjoyed, and we'll continue to do so. The guest house is rarely used for that purpose.
What was it like when you guys came home and saw this?
Devastating, absolutely devastating. Yeah. Just horrific.
We were so excited when we first entered and saw that there was no damage to the house itself, but then as we came down the driveway and saw the smoldering ruins of what was a home office, four-car garage, and a guest house, and this is our, well.
At least they got it. They got in, so the threat will be gone. This is obviously a very well-known neighborhood with Christmas Tree Lane down the road and Henry Ford's house and a lot of other famous people that live on these streets. What's it like to live here, and what's it like for you to go through this?
It's wonderful to live here in this neighborhood. It's just disappointing that we're all having to share this bad experience at this time.
Yeah, it feels like all of LA is on fire right now. Is there any...
It does absolutely feel like all of LA is on fire.
And we want to make sure that everyone understands we have the deepest sympathy for their loss as well. You know, this is a guest house and a garage, and there's been other things that have been more tragic. Disappointing, but, our hearts are with everyone who suffered any kind of loss during this situation.
What's this been like for you guys? Just, waking up today and seeing all the devastation. I'm sure you didn't sleep much anyway, but just...
We didn't. We got up at 6 o'clock and we just suddenly saw fires popping up.
Yeah, we saw fires across the street. Our neighbor's garage burnt down also, and his fences and a pool, and so it's just been crazy.
On a normal day, with when you have these filming situations, tell me what that's like. It's obviously a pretty famous place to be.
We get to meet some very interesting people, and
I bet they do.
It's kind of nice when you're.
Must be nice to have a home that people want to rent out all the time to film movies in.
Fun. And so it's just something we do and have done for the 22 years we've lived here.
Well, it seems like a good place to live. It was obviously built very well. If you can withstand the Northridge earthquake.
Good thing we live up there.
Yeah. All right. Well, firefighters obviously doing a really good job here, and thankfully only this guest house and the car lost. We're on TV. Do you guys want to say anything on Fox 11? Okay. Thank you for your work.
Thanks, guys.
All right. We're gonna send it back to you guys. They obviously got in and got the fire out, so no longer a threat here in Altadena.
All right, Haley, we have this bad news coming into the newsroom about the Eaton fire. This is from LA County Sheriff Robert Luna. He says that the death toll is rising. 5 people now have died in the Eaton fire. Earlier, it was 2 people, and now that...
So there you have it, breaking news. It looks like the death toll has risen from the Eaton fires. It was earlier reported that there was 2 people who had passed away from the fires, and now we're hearing that 5 people have now passed away due to these fires. And the Eaton fires, that's not Santa Monica, Malibu fires.
LAFD firefighter, a female who sustained a serious head injury while fighting that fire last night. Her condition is not known. She was taken to the hospital for treatment. Multiple burn victims had sort of stumbled along PCH in the Palisades fire near the Duke's restaurant on PCH, and those people were transported, so we're working to get information on their conditions in terms of those burn victims.
And speaking of the Malibu area, word from Moon Shadows, the iconic restaurant there, they posted on social media that restaurant is burned down. which is really sad. So many people
All right.
have enjoyed
Moon
great
Shadows
drinks
is
there
also
with that
burned
incredible
down.
view right along Pacific Coast Highway, and Moon Shadows is no more. Let's hope they're able to rebuild.
All right, let's stay in the Palisades area. That's where Matthew Seedorf has been reporting for us.
We're on Ulmer Avenue in Miami Way. We're still seeing those fires pick up. Look at this massive fire starting at this home.
Wow, you can hear that. Listen to that.
It is just destroyed. And look, here comes the fire department right now. We're also seeing other fires popping up at other homes down the street. Look at that. The fire department is so overwhelmed, they just drove right by while this home is engulfed in flames. And we can see the embers still flying in the air with these big 30, 40 mile per hour wind gusts. I don't know if you can see this power pole over there, Al, but look up in the trees. It's starting to catch on fire. And this
Wow, you can hear the wind. Listen to that.
spread. Even today, 24 hours after it started, the devastation just hard to put into words. It looks like there's other homes that are destroyed further down. But look at this. I mean, this was a beautiful house at one point, and right now it is just whipping up in flames. You can feel the heat.
That's insane.
And hear the cracking and the popping. Wow. Reporting Pacific Palisades, Matthew Seedorf, Fox 11 News.
Matthew, thank you. I want to bring into the conversation right now Star Harvey, our meteorologist, as we take a look from Skyfox. Maybe we can take this picture. Okay. Star, talk to us about the air quality right now.
You know, it's
crappy.
so hard to watch and so hard to take in. And yeah, you know, that leads me right into our air quality, where we do have some of those red dots on our map here. And this is just getting me right over to our key here, where we do show that the red is just representation of that unhealthy level. And a lot of the regions still impacted by, I'd say, the yellows as well. So
building your custom home is now easier than ever. And with America's Home Place, we can show you how. During our 50 years as a custom
again, we want to make sure that everyone is indoors if you do not have to be outside. We do have an air quality alert. This alert is going to extend across a big portion of the area, and you'll see right here in this scene next to me why. We have lots of smoke out there stretching with our winds. It is really just blowing it across a lot of the region, and this is going to be across the Inland Empire, stretching down towards a portion of Orange County, but our Los Angeles basin included in this, out towards Long Beach, and also up the Ventura County coastal area as well. Now, along with our winds, we do have this very low humidity values, and for a lot of the area, we are sitting between the single digits to the teens, and this has been the case through this entire event almost, and it does continue into this evening. I'm going to roll us into tonight, where we're not seeing much improvement across a great portion of the area, where it is going to continue to be dry out there. Now, we are seeing a little improvement when it does come to our sustained winds, and I'm going to step out of the screen here so you can see how we do have some of that energy calming down, but still some double digits, and this is our sustained winds. And I was taking a look at, or taking a hear at what Matthew was experiencing out there at one of those locations, where you could hear the gust out there. You could also hear that crackling of the fires, and with that, you know, wind gusts still kicking up upwards of 30 to 45 miles per hour across some of the area. And to get us through some of our peak, you know, although we are seeing some of those winds die down a little bit, this is a look at where some of our top gusts were with this entire event. We're talking over the last 24 hours. So we have seen those numbers be cut, I'd say, in more than a half across some of the area, where if you were across Arrowhead Springs, over 90 mile per hour registered up there, upwards towards Rancho Cucamonga, over 80 miles per hour, and in Eaton Canyon, 70 mile per hour winds were gusting across the area. And just to put this into perspective for you, I know a lot of meteorologists like myself, we've been using hurricane status to just let you know at home what this means for you all out there. And just to let you know, some of those winds, when we think in terms of a Hurricane 1 status, it does clock in the 70s. And you'll see there, we see our winds getting a lot higher than that. And so the big question has also been, why is this happening here? And the honest answer is that we just do have the perfect setup, the classic Santa Ana wind setup, where we'd have that low pressure system system, also that high pressure system, they are moving in opposite directions. Our low pressure system does have that counterclockwise motion, and we have this high pressure system moving in that clockwise motion. And so we do have these two systems really doing their best to just fight for their space there. And so what that means for you at home is through that space where we are located at, in between these two systems, we have something called a pressure gradient. That pressure gradient is what allows for our Santa Ana wind event to actually take place. And so we did see the peak of our wind event happen overnight, stretching into portions of this morning. We do have, I'd say, a lull in the winds across some of the area, not all of us. But again, we do show that our advisories have stretched well past into today. We are going to see that they stretch into portions of tomorrow. And again, just to let you know how rare this event is, it is a particularly dangerous situation. It is reserved for the most extreme events. And again, the last time that we saw anything like this happen was not just last month in December, but previously in November. And so just 3 months in a row where we've had this issued. And before that, the last season we had it was, I'd say, over 4 years ago. So we got a lot to get through, guys. For now, I'll go ahead and toss it back to you.
All right, Stars, thanks so much. We want to hear from a man in the Eaton fire in Altadena who has a desperate plea for help to save his home.
I was told that my house burned down. I drove up. I needed to see it. I wanted to get some clothes for my son. The entire neighborhood is burned down, but somehow my house does not even have a scratch. There's no fire damage. I went in, but the house next to mine is still on fire. So I'm going around begging anybody to come put out that fire to protect my home.
Because there's no water.
There's no water pressure. I tried to turn on the water myself. I would have tried to put it out, but I have no water pressure, so I have no way of putting it out.
So you and your wife are just trying to go get bottled water?
Yeah, so my wife went to get
This is the guy.
I'm gonna meet
Bottled
him at the
water.
hill, and we're just
Crazy.
gonna try and throw bottled water on it. I mean, that's all you can think about is the house that your kids grew up in is about to burn down, and your kids are scared, and you just want to protect it for your kids, for your family. And that's what I was trying to do. And that's what I'm still trying to do, because the house has no fire damage. I need someone just to put out that small fire next to it to make sure it stays that way.
He says that house is on 615 Las Flores Drive in Altadena. He wants all the help that he can get.
615 Las Flores Drive.
3 o'clock hour. And the Palisades fire, by the way, we're seeing those numbers on the screen. Those are, we're sorry, incorrect. The fire has grown to almost 16,000 acres. It sits at 15,832.
So we're up to 16,000 acres are burning.
Continuous coverage, wall-to-wall coverage, commercial.
That is not a
free here on
cloud,
Fox
ladies
11.
and gentlemen. That
I'm Marla
is
Tejas
smoke
alongside Alex Michelson.
from
Our
the
coverage,
fires.
If you aren't able to watch it on television, we have multiple ways you can. Local app, a wonderful resource, especially in a time of crisis like now, as we're looking from Skyfox and see the flames, those active flames down below of the Palisades fire. You can also stream us live on foxla.com/live.
And we started our coverage yesterday at 10:30 in the morning, and we are still on live now today at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Wow, they've been going since 10:30 yesterday morning.
As Los Angeles and the greater Southern California area is in crisis right now, we are seeing that play out in real time in Altadena. That's where
Look at
Haley
that.
Winslow is reporting for us live. We got the Palisades fire. We also have the Eaton fire, which has burned over 10,000 acres. Haley.
Hey, I can't hear you guys, but I'm just going to go ahead and tell you what's going on here. We're still at the Brighton estate. This was an asphalt contractor, built this house in 1928. We were just here a minute ago. We thought the fire was out. It's not. So they kind of sparked back up again, and firefighters are putting out these flames right here. And Frank, if you can see that one right there on the right side of the garage, too.
That's not a light. Yep, that's fire.
The neighbor's house next door is a total loss, and so obviously they're trying to put out any threat so it doesn't keep spreading. So we're just down the road from Christmas Tree Lane and right on Santa Rosa and Alameda, basically down that road. This is where the really famous house called the Brighton Stein Estate, built in 1928. He moved here from the East Coast, and this house, the main house, has been able to withstand literally anything. The Northridge earthquake, this fire's built of stone, really thick walls, and the roof's made of slate. So that's why it's pretty much been able to not even have a crack with the Northridge earthquake when other houses around it definitely had damage. This is their guest house. There was computers inside. John, do you want to tell us what else you guys lost?
Contracts, documents.
Obviously your car, your Mercedes right here.
The Mercedes, of course. But again, it's not as devastating as it was for other people's losses.
Yeah, we heard Marla say a minute ago.
Not the Mercedes.
Died now in this Eaton
Not
fire.
the Mercedes.
I did just talk to a couple police officers for Pasadena here, and they said that they were going around.
The sad thing about this is because this is happening to the 1%, something will probably be done this time.
They're more just trying to help people.
That wasn't me talking. I'm not a ventriloquist. That was John chiming in. His video's not up right now, but he's still listening in live.
The house next door you can see is a total loss. And what would happen next, John? You said you have to file the claim, obviously.
Yeah,
He's going to file that claim. He's going to find out, oh, we don't cover that. Sorry.
Then decide what we're going to do with building it.
We don't cover fires that are started by
Everything else that goes involved with that.
somebody.
All right, we'll let you guys go. This was obviously Beyonce music
They'll come
video
up with a
in
reason.
2022 was filmed here. A lot of other famous movies, the Steve Jobs movie. So
So obviously this house is a famous house. We've probably seen it in many movies that we've watched over the years. It apparently is quite a bit on fire right now. And I'm not sure how much of it they'll be able to save, but it's made it through lots of earthquakes and fires in the past, so let's hope that it can make it. Hey, there's John right there. I see him live.
It had no chance against. It might have made it through some hurricanes, but it had no chance to make it through Gavin Newsom.
No, that's the. Yeah, we should name this fire the Newsom.
That's right. The new scum.
The new
As
scum.
Trump says.
They name hurricanes. Why not name wildfires?
Yeah, and one of the big
That's right.
differences
They seem to be doing more damage than many of the hurricanes.
between now and yesterday
Yeah,
is the winds
no
are
kidding.
not as bad. And so because of that,
It looks like we got a plane flying around, getting us a overhead view.
they can be more strategic about it.
Probably has no water on it, though.
Yesterday it was so windy,
No.
in so many different directions, that a lot of times the drops wouldn't end up where they were trying to drop it, and then it kind of was a waste. Plus, it was putting the pilots in danger because it was so windy. So we
There you
do
have it.
better weather conditions today. Still not great, but better than what we saw yesterday, which allows them to fly and put water on it from the air, and that also takes a lot of pressure.
Is that a
from
drone
some
down there?
of the
What's going on down there?
groundwork. And yesterday, part of the reason that
that's
they
a
said
helicopter.
that they had problems with the hydrants essentially running out of water is because they didn't have any air tankers up.
You notice how
and
we
so they
don't
had to
see any
rely
drones in
entirely on the
Los
ground.
Angeles
This
anywhere,
relieves
huh?
some of the pressure from the ground.
Wonder why that is.
Obviously, you're not going to run out of water in the Pacific
You notice how we don't run out of water in any Republican state, too.
Well, you know, we're smart enough to move to areas that have water.
fire that big is going to take a while
Yeah.
to really make progress.
Not like these foolish people here who are
We don't see those dramatic images.
moved to Los Angeles. It doesn't even have its own water supply. It's got to get it from its neighboring state. Like, yeah, I think I'll move to the neighboring state.
But even the process of assessing the damage has barely begun because
No, status is more important than living.
that smoke.
Another asset that we have at our disposal is Governor
Say something
Gavin
again?
Newsom today activating the National Guard.
Right.
There were questions about that, why
Important than their way of life.
but it has
All
been
right.
done. So
Yeah, you were doubling up there for a second. I had to mute you and unmute you.
as we're just looking live at
Gotcha.
this CAL FIRE plane making its way, you call this a spotter plane. Oh, there's that FOS check.
Ah.
There it is. That is always nice to see. And obviously they're putting that there to stop the spread of those flames. And, you know,
So I'm not sure what they just put out there. Some kind of pink spray over an area.
so that you can get
Must be
those,
some kind
because I
of
know that
fire
is impacting
repellent.
a whole different
But I wouldn't trust them. It might be fire starter for all we know.
Alex go ahead and
they're all excited. Yay! Look at the pink. That's good news. No, I don't trust them.
I don't know. Is Oprah involved? Because if she is, I'm thinking that it's going to be a fire starter.
Their next door neighbor.
Yeah.
Palisades taking so much, and Malibu taking so much as well, that they were really grateful that so far the winds had not blown the fire right towards Santa Monica, and that
it's
Santa
just
Monica
unbelievable.
was kind of a
Unbelievable.
pocket, where even the air quality was a little bit better than what you're seeing in other neighborhoods because of the wind and the ocean. She was hoping that it would.
And you know that song, "It Never Rains in Southern California." Well, I bet they're wishing it did right now.
But the only good news so far is we have not
They need a little rain dance.
anywhere close to the destruction in the city of Santa Monica that we've seen.
Like I said earlier, we had breaking news that there were reports that earlier today there were 2 people who had died from the fires, and now we're receiving reports that 5 people have now perished in these fires. So, and I have a
Prayers
feeling
to that family.
Yeah, prayers out to the families, and hopefully the numbers don't increase.
We hate to have to report all of this, but
and if you could give us a like, we appreciate you in here. And this is something that we plan to be doing on a regular basis. So if you like what you see, give us a subscribe and get up with us. Get in chat. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, chat us up. Let us know what's going on out there in your world. And
the plume of smoke can be seen from
we will appreciate that and reciprocate that with more and more content coming your direction. This is just the beginning of our live features. Our live features. We hope to be doing this on a regular basis, at least a couple times a week, especially when there's breaking news available. I'll try to get on top of that and get that out to you guys live, so that we can bring it to you live and we can talk about it live and in person with you guys directly, as opposed to having to go and rely on the legacy media, which we know is only going to bring their narrative to it. So we'll explore different outlets and see how they're reporting it and how they're narrating it, and bring you the best of what we can find out there.
But that would be the best case scenario that we could look at tonight as we start to get a different perspective now that Skyfox is up, which gives us a better view of exactly what's happening here, the areas that we can be.
All right, everybody, we're going to take a break for right now. We'll be back later. We'll be chatting with you soon. We'll check back in a couple hours and see how everything is going, and get a quick update then. Until then, we'll see you. Peace.
Structures at 2 California state parks. This happened last night, including Will Rogers Historic Ranch House and